Assalamu alaikum student. I am so all of you will very well. Today I am also starting the previous lecture. Now, last time we was discussing about the physics chapter number 1 introduction, and we have learned about the definition of the physics and its branches. Also, we have discussed about the one contribution of the Muslim scientists. So, today we are also going to continue the contribution of the Muslim scientists as well as experimental errors and its type. Now, last time we was discussed about the Ibn al-Haytham was the first Muslim scientist who worked on the basis of the physics as well as biology as well as the mathematics. That's why we can say Ibn al-Haytham was born at Basra in 975 AD and its date of birth was 1039 AD. He was the best mathematician, physicist, and optician. So, on this field, they also work on the basis of the mathematics as well as physics as well as the opticians. Now, his first contribution was he is more known for his optical works, which were translated in Latin. Mean his main working in the field of biology and physics, in which he discussed about the optics and give us much more laws related with the optics. Now, the second one, he also worked on the principle of the light, or we can say explain the refraction of light rays through transparent object. Last time, no one can be understand how the light is going on, how they are spread out, how they can be scattered, then how the image will be formed. So, Ibn al-Haytham said that about the refraction of light rays through transparent object. When light will pass by the transparent material, light can be passing through it and it can be bent. Also, he discovered magnifying lenses, function of retina as the seat of vision. We can say when the rays of light uh, passing through the retina or through the lens, so it will form the image on the retina. So then the sightedness can be possible and we can be utilize the different objects. Now, second one, he said function of the retina as a set of vision. Set of vision. Now, the next one is first scientist who elaborated two laws of reflection of light. I mean, first he said that about the refraction of light, and then he said that about the laws of reflection. I mean, how many laws of reflection are there? Now, he is the first scientist who construct the camera, and the name of the camera by invented Ibn Haytham, that was pinhole camera. Pinhole camera was constructed by him. Now, nowadays, that pinhole camera was established in terms of the digital cameras. Now, he was the first person who declared that light is a form of energy. I mean, he said light is a form of energy by which we can get their performance. Now, the next one, he also explained about the gravity as a force. He said gravity is a force by which it can be attract the other objects. Now, his fame lies in his book that is Kitabul Manazil, which is one optics. I mean, he was the one opticians. He explained about the external and internal construction of the human eye. I hope so, student, you will understand or revise their previous topics. Now, the next Muslim scientist was Al-Baruni. His he born in 973 AD and died in 1048 AD. He is also worked in the different field of the physics. So, the first major contribution of the Al-Biruni was he explained the problems of advanced trigonometry. On that time, no one can be understand about the trigonometry. They knows about the triangular shape, but they are unable to how to solve a triangle if we just having the one side and one angle. So Al-Biruni was the very excellent mathematician who tell us about the advanced trigonometry. Second one, he gave theory that light travels faster than sound. On a previous time, no one can be understand what is the speed of the light, what is the speed of the sound. So, by the calculation, Al-Baroni tell us that light uh, travels faster than sound because light travel in a straight line while the sound can be travel in the form of wave. So in the form of wave they require the medium, and in the straight line light does not require any medium. So that's why if the object does not require any sort of the medium, so their speed will be faster than the other object which need the medium for their traveling. He also said that or described and explained fully the concept of longitude and latitude. Still, I'm just going to tell you what is the longitude and latitude. First, we are just discuss about the contribution of the Al-Biruni. He described and explained fully the concept of longitude and latitude. He gave idea that Earth is not stationary but rotate on its axis. On that time, no one can be understand the Earth is a spherical shape and it is just rotating. So he is the first scientist who tell us about the he Earth is not in the stationary, but it is rotate on its axis. Now the next he tell us about the he learned Sanskrit language in order to investigate Indian knowledge, to explain or to define about the India. That he first understand or learned about the Sanskrit language and also describe or investigate the Indian knowledge. He also tell us uh, accurately determine the weight of 18 stones in physics. Mean he tell us about the uh, weightage of the 18 stone. On that time, no one can be understand what will be the weight of the stone. And different stone having the different weights as well as their specific gravity. If there are some mixing, so they cannot be accurate about the pure weight of the stones. He write three books. The first he write Tahqiq al-Hind, mean that is on the basis of the history and social conditions of India in 11th century. Mean in 11th century what was the history and social condition of India. So he write about that on his book Tahqiq al-Hind. Now the second book he write about the Kitab al-Jawahir, mean Al-Jawahir also studied about the gems and stone. So Kitab al-Jawahir is stated about gems and stones of different types. He also write a third book, Qanun al-Masudi. He also explained about the longitude and latitude. Also, he also about the different histories of the objects. I also student, you will understand. If you getting any problem, so just mark it, and at the last one you can ask the question. Now the third Muslim scientist was Yaqub ibn Ishaq al-Qindi. Their date of birth is 880 and date of death is 873 AD. He was born in Basra in 800 AD. In Basra, at this time, the name of the Basra is Iraq, and he was born in Basra in 800 AD. He was a great scholar of monograph, metrograph, specific gravity, and on tides. I mean, he worked where he was a great scholar of monograph, metrograph, specific gravity, and on tides. They are working on these spaces. Now, student, the next one, he also tell us about the his most important work in sound and optics. Nowadays, we are looking on the keyboard and the different music instrument. They are the seven notes. So, how is going to arrange in a ascending order. So he was the Yaqub ibn Ishaq al-Kindi that arranged it in terms of their frequency. Like his most important work is sound and optics. Sound means arrange their note according to their frequency, and optics also work on the eye or on the vision or on the light. And the fourth contribution of that, he discovered a method to express musical notes in terms of frequency. Main, he discovered a method to express musical notes in terms of frequency. Main, if a note having the higher frequency, their sound will be changed. If now we can say that if object having the different we can say different frequency of the object having the greater, their sound will be the greater. Understand? Now the last point, last contribution of this scientist was he discussed the nature of sound. They discuss about the nature of the sound. The nature of the sound is also based on their frequency. I mean, he said that if the frequency of the different sound is different, their nature will be the different. Now, here we discuss about the some different thing. In the previous, we have to discuss about the longitude and latitude. So, what does it mean? Now, here you are observing a pic on the slide, latitude and longitude, coordinate system by means of which the position or location of any place on Earth's surface can be determined and describe latitude. Mean, what is the latitude and longitude? Latitude and longitude, we can say they are the coordinate system. Latitude and longitude are the coordinate system. What does it mean? It means that to tell us about the position and location of any place on Earth's surface. Now let's see. You are observing this red light. Red line is showing the latitude. Means we can say it is on the horizontal position. Mean the horizontal line showing the latitude, and in other words we can say it is said to be the equator, and in the equator we know that about the east and west. So what do you understand? The horizontal line was showing to the latitude, mean it is east to west. Now the second one, if we understand about the longitude, longitude means you are observing this red light. This red line is showing the longitude, mean that is a vertical line, and vertical line is also said to be the pole. We have the two pole, north pole and the south pole. So north pole and south pole is showing the longitude. Now here one word is using in the book definition, that is a cosmology. So cosmology we can say the science of the origin and development of the universe. I mean how to develop develop a universe, how to develop an origin. So cosmology describe about the science of the origin and development of the universe. Modern cosmology, we can say, is dominated by the Big Bang theory. Okay? If we discuss or learn about the Big Bang theory, then we will observe that okay, at the initial time, this universe is not like at this condition. So by the Big Bang, it is just going to develop different stars, different planets, different satellites. So which brings together observational astronomy and particle physics. Which brings means Big Bang or modern cosmology is said to be the which brings together observational astronomy and particle physics. Another way we can say an account or theory of the origin of the universe. Cosmology we can say it is an account or theory of the origin of the universe and how to universe is developed. So what is the origin of the universe? So that explained through the cosmology. Understand? Now, the next way we also learn about the monograph in the Muslim scientists, metrograph, specific gravity, and on tide. So, what does monograph mean? Monograph, we can say, a monograph is a work of research or literature written about a single specific subject. I mean, if a scientist explain or describe only a single topic or single or a specific subject, or giving a literature or explaining the research about on a specific topic on a specific subject, so it is said to be the monograph. Now it is primarily written by expert in a particular field of study for others in that field of study. Means last time the scientists work on the different subjects. So he just going to explain in a different way. But nowadays, when I was telling you about the branch of the physics, so it means that they just only work on that basis, on a single basis. So here it is also in the monograph, a scientist can be explained or research on a specific way, on a specific topic, on a specific subject. So that is said to be the monograph. Also, we can say the language and information contained in a monograph is a specialized. I mean, if a person is just going to be specialized, so it can be also explained or describe it uh, very deeply. Let's suppose we can say okay, if we want to become a doctor, so we just getting a degree of MBBS. But if we can specialize in the we become the eye specialist, we become the heart surgeon, we become the any other way. So we just going to get another degree that is set with FRCS. So that is just working on only and only that field. I mean on the eye, on the ENT, on the heart, on the lung, whatever it is. So in the monograph, the scientists work on a specific field or a specific subject. Now the next one we have learned about the metrograph. So metrograph we can say okay, metrograph, the plural of the metrograph is metrographs. Metrographs is a plural of the metrograph, and it means that an instrument attached to a locomotive for recording. Mean Metograph is said to be an instrument or a device which is attached to a locomotive. Loco means to and up and down. We can say locomotive to and fro. Okay? So by the vibration, an instrument attached to a locomotive for recording its speed and the number and duration of its stop. Mean the first one it is just going to tell about the number of vibration. Number of vibration is expressed by the speed. So also at which time it is just going to be start and stop. Also, you know very well, okay, we are just checking them blood pressure. So another instrument which having which tell us about the speed of the person. Then in 1 second or in 1 minute, how many it's speed. So it is also we can say turns into the metrograph. So metrograph is just going to record the locomotive for and its speed, also the number and duration of its stop. Now, next in the previous Muslim scientist, we have also discussed about the specific gravity and on tides. So this means that an object that has more mass can exert more gravitational force. Specific gravity, we can say, this means that an object that has more mass means if the mass of the object is greater, so it will exert more gravitational force. Means if the mass of the object is greater, so it means that their gravitational force will be, and the force of attraction will be the greater on another object. And the closer two objects are to one another, the greater the other. Another thing is that if their distance are lesser, so their specific gravity will also be greater. But if their distances are greater, so their specific gravity will be the lesser. Mean it depends upon the situation. We can say for the mass it is the directly proportional. Mean if we are increasing the mass of the object, then it will increase the specific gravity. And in other way we can say special gravity is the inversely proportional by their distance. If we are closing together, I mean if we are decreasing their distances, their special gravity will be the decreases. Now another way where we will just going to discuss in the Pakistani Muslim scientists. Suparco. So in a previous one, you just going to discuss. Suparco stand for. Suparco stand for S for space, U for upper, P PA, uh, sup, S for space, U for upper, and PAR. We can say atmospheric. Atmospheric. PA atmospheric. R for research. And CO stand for commission. Then Superco means space and upper atmospheric or atmosphere research commission. Now, from where we get it, you see here Superco is written on. Fourth point. Now today we are just going to discuss about a Pakistani scientist. The name was Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan. Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan is a Pakistani Muslim scientist. What are their work? Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, we can say he is a national hero and father of Pakistan nuclear bomb. When today is 28th May, in 1998, he just gave an experiment about the nuclear bomb. That we can say that is the atom bomb. So Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan is a national hero and father of the Pakistan nuclear. Second contribution is that he is a famous Pakistani nuclear scientist and a metallurgical engineer. So, what do you think about the metallurgical? Metallur- metallur- Metallurgical, we can say that okay, which are able to identify or separate out the different metals when we are getting from the minerals. Okay? When we are getting the
भाने पहले नीचे आ जाओ नाश्ता कर लो
different metals from the minerals, so it is
नीचे
not in
आओ
the pure form, it is in the form of ly. So those person who is the meteorological engineer, they're able to differentiate in getting the pure amount of the metals. Now in the third part, third contribution of the Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan was he is the founder of gas centrifuge enrichment technology for Pakistan nuclear deterrence program. Nuclear deterrence in the nuclear deterrence program, they work on the gas centrifuge enrichment so that we can get the fuel by which we are able to getting the nuclear bomb. So he reorganized the Pakistan National Space Agency. Mean on the field of the Subarco, they work very keenly and they upgraded the Subarco. Now he is the first one. He has played an important role in Pakistan space program, particularly in the Pakistan first polar satellite launch vehicles. Mean at this time, we are also having a satellite in space, which name is Pakistan First Polar Satellite
दो
Launch
तो बात है ना
Vehicle, and its abbreviation is PSLV. So we are able, or we having the 500 plus channels in the wind, and we are also higher it in terms of range. Now, the next point is he is the founder of several engineering universities in Pakistan. In Pakistan, we having the different or several engineering university. So, Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan was the founder of the engineering universities. Now, the next one, he has published more than 188 scientific research in international journals. When in the internationally, he just write down the 188 scientific researches. Now, under his supervision, the process of uranium enrichment was effectively accomplished. Mean we are not we can say purchase uranium from the other countries. We just get in Pakistan by the gas centrifuge enrichment, and we are able to use this uranium in, we can say, atomic bomb. And the successful test firing of intermediate range ballistic mobile, uh, we can say, and the successful test firing of intermediate range ballistic missiles and Wari 1 missiles, and in April 1998. When in 1998, they just test the intermediate range ballistic missiles and Warrior. And also, he just testing in April 1999, that is the Ghori 2 missile. Now, the next Pakistani scientist was Abdus Salam. Abdul Salam, the Nobel Prize in Pakistan in physics in 1979. When in 1979, they got the Nobel Prize. They born in 29 January 1926, Jhang, Meghina, India, now in Pakistan. Now he died 21 November 1996 and Oxford, United Kingdom. When in United Kingdom, they died in 21 November 1996. The affiliation at the time of the award, International Center for Theoretical Physics, Trieste, Italy, Imperial College, London, United Kingdom. Main. From where they get their Nobel Prize, they get their Nobel Prize in the field of the, we can say, their contribution was the theory of the unified weak and electromagnetic interaction between elementary particles. So this is the main factor where they work and they get the Nobel Prize. Prize motivation, mean from where he get the prize. So for their contribution to the theory of the unified weak and electromagnetic interaction. In their work on the principle of the weak and electromagnetic interaction between elementary particles. On that time, no one can be understand what is the weak and electromagnetic interaction. So he just going to explain it by the experiment he just described it, including inter alia, we can say the prediction of the weak neutral current. So on this basis, they get the Nobel Prize. I hope Susan you will understand. Now, after that, we are just going to, when we are going to perform the experiment, so we sometimes we get some errors, so we can say a classification of the errors. So there are the three classification of the error. The first one we can say that is the personal error, the second one is said to be the instrumental error, and the third one we can say that is a random error. And how many classification of the error are there? There are three classification of the error are there. The first one is the personal, second one is the instrumental, and third one is the random error. Now, what do you think about the experimental error? And what do you think about the error? And how can you define it? So, error we can say it is defined as the difference between the measured and the actual value. I mean the difference between the actual and the measured value is said to be the experimental error. And let's suppose we can say when we purchase any object or table in the dimension of the 2 by 4, mean 2 is width and 4 is length, and 4 is height. Mean 2 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. But when we are going to just measure it and we are not getting the actual measurement, so we can say it having the some error. Either it can be personal or it can be other. So that's why we can say that there are three types of error. There are three types of the error. The first one is the personal error. Personal, we can say the error which arises due to fault of observer. Mean if an observer getting the some fault during the measurement, so that is said to be the personal error. So the error which arises due to fault of observer, let's suppose for example carelessness in taking observation, no concentration, no counting, so that's why that is said to be the personal error. Now the next one we can say that is the instrumental error. Instrumental error, we can say the error which arises due to the instrument. The error which arises due to the measuring instrument, then it is said to be the instrumental error. I mean, let's suppose it's having the some mistake. It is not going to in an accurate line. They're having some error. So the error which arises due to the instrument, then it is said to be the instrumental error. That's why we are just going to draw a line. But in a scale or in the tape, we just having the some line have been some point having the misses, or we can be cut it down. So in that's where we are just not going to understand it is actual measurement, actual value. So that is said to be the instrumental error. This is called the error, zero error of the instrument. Means if an instrument not having the any error, then it is said to be the zero error. See, if an instrument having the error, then it is said to be the instrumental error. This error can be overcome by adopting the relevant zero error correction. It can also be to reduce the instrumental error, that is said to be the relevant zero error correction. Now, the third one we can say it is said to be the we can say that is said to be the random error. Random error, we can say the error which arises due to the environmental condition, or we can say that is the external condition. The error may arises due to external condition which are at a certain time beyond the control of the experimenter. And if we are just going to performing the experiment, so it having just getting the error, so we can say that is said to be the random error. And the example of the random error can be changes in temperature, humidity, voltage. Let's suppose if we operating our fan, if there is a drop of the voltage, so that speed will be slow. So that is speed of the fan is going to be slow by the voltage. So it is said to be the random error. Hi, so students, we are just going to understand all of the topics and try to understand all of the topics. I hope so. Inshallah ta'ala, just try it, just going to repeat these all topics in the book, then you can be understand much more thing. Now, your home task is first, in the previous one, I will told you that define physics and its branches. Second one, I will give you what is the importance of the physics in our daily life. You have done it. Now today I'm just giving you the third question is describe the contribution of the following scientists. That was Al Haitham, Dr. Abdul Salam, Al Beroni, Dr. Abdul Qadir, Yaqub Al Kindi. You just have to write their contribution 4 points only. Fourth question is define error, its and its type. Also, you just have to be complete whole exercise from book page number 11. Thank you so much for your cooperation, student. Thank you so much.